national anthem.
Right.
I mean, it didn't
just
take
saying,
a knee.
yeah, it's like they take everything away and they ridicule everybody, but it's okay to kneel for the anthem.
Right. I mean, I think he is a good example because he can play ball and he's not out here raping kids and killing kids and molesting kids and going to pedophile island and doing all this shit. And so, but they made it, they tore him all to pieces over the things that he did. But we have these politicians out here that can actually go to Lolita Island and do whatever they want to these little kids and this adrenochrome and all this crap. And they're still they're still politicians. They still get paid every year.
But enhancement drugs will get you thrown out of the MLB or anything like that.
Right.
Like Pete Rose, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be in the Hall of Fame because of gambling.
Right.
But you can kneel during the national anthem.
Mm-hmm.
Get the fuck out. Put this motherfucker in the Hall of Fame. Like one of the greatest players ever. But he can't, he decided to gamble.
Right.
And now gambling's legal. Well, if gambling's legal, put him in the Hall of Fame. That's like with marijuana offenses. If you live in a state where marijuana is now legal and you're doing time for a marijuana offense, they should go home. Let them out. Set them free. It's legal now. Yeah. Stop wasting taxpayers' money to house nonviolent criminals. It's stupid.
Yeah.
But
it's just wasting taxpayers' money. It really is. I mean, they've got people, President Trump just pardoned a woman that
Alice
was
Johnson.
in life over drug possession.
And it was, and how's it worded exactly? It was, I don't think that she actually had cocaine on her.
Right.
It was like the conspiracy to have cocaine. And then they had a money laundering thrown in there or whatever. But she served almost 22 years of her life sentence. Life sentence. First time offender. I mean, that's crazy. Like, for
but
20...
I guarantee, I hate to interrupt you, but I guarantee that the judge in this case was Democrat.
Oh, sure.
And I guarantee, because this woman was African American, and I guarantee that he was racist.
Oh, yeah.
A racist
that's
Democrat.
the way judges are, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Some of the most racist people in this country are judges.
Oh, absolutely.
They always have been.
Yeah.
I mean, they still wear robes. You know what I mean? It's like...
they just took the hood off.
And they changed the color.
Yeah,
we won't wear white robes. We'll wear black.
Exactly. Yeah.
You fucking racist asshole.
Man, talking about some racist assholes, I come up with, we were talking about this BLM bullshit. And, they can say BLM stands for anything they want to, but I really like belligerent, low-life morons.
Yeah. Racism does not exist. Racism hasn't existed in this country for so long. It's a fucking joke when you look at it now. And it's the younger generation that don't realize they didn't live through Michael Jordan. Like, we don't care the color of your skin. We don't care, who you love. It's what you do for us as fans. That meaning actors, sports figures, all this. Oprah didn't get where she is today solely on the backs of black people. White people supported her too. So racism hasn't existed in this country for a long time. And sadly, like we had talked about before, the school system doesn't teach that to kids. They want to keep racism alive. They want to keep the fire burning, to keep division in this country. And at some point we have to stand up as Americans and say, look, assholes, racism doesn't exist. This is trash, and take our country back. But
that's exactly what we need to do, and we need to do that as quick as humanly possible.
Yes, we do.
That's what I was saying earlier about everybody complaining about things, and nobody's getting off their ass and actually doing anything about it.
Right.
So complaining just to be complaining is just flat out fucking bitching.
Right.
That's all it is.
There's a lot of good people, like President Trump likes to call his the silent majority, people who aren't saying things, and they'll show up at the ballot box and drop their vote in. I believe in that. I believe there is a lot of people out here who don't say a lot that are supporters of Trump. But electoral votes is what decides the election. So
that's right. Thank God for the Electoral College.
Yeah. But notice that places where it really matters, Wisconsin's one of those states, Pennsylvania's one of those states. And speaking of Wisconsin, all the stuff that's going on right now with Kyle Rittenhouse, it's like, free that kid. It was completely self-defense. He was attacked by an angry mob. I mean, he's a pillar of his community, even as a kid, this guy is. I mean, he was a lifeguard. I mean, he was all about protecting his community.
I agree. I mean, and I do have to say that here at Blunt Source Tribal, we do have a new hero. And,
and
his name is Kyle Rittenhouse.
Exactly.
And he's not in comic books. He's not anything like that. This is a 17-year-old that took it upon himself to do what everybody else is sitting around saying needs to be done.
Yes.
A 17-year-old child.
Technically, in the eyes of the law, he's still a child.
Right. And this dude...
who is being tried as an adult, by the way.
Right. Being tried as an adult. But this guy shows up, does his fucking part as an American, and they actually put him in jail for doing what he constitutionally
has the right
to do.
Yeah.
I mean, this is his damn country.
Right.
I mean,
protected at all costs.
I looked up the militia laws. Federal militia laws say that 17 years of age, you can carry a firearm if you're part of a militia in the United States of America, and that is not enlisted. That is not the National Guard or the Navy.
Right.
That is private militia in the United States of America. And so, what's going on right now?
Well, I mean, I haven't heard that he claimed being affiliated with the militia.
Well, at first, there was a lot of talk about the militia, but there's no guarantee. No militia has come forward and said, hey, he's ours.
Well, his attorney stated, I just read this morning, that he was there with a friend, and they went to protect this car dealership that had been destroyed like the previous night, I think the night before. And that's what they were doing. They were protecting this private business. And, I mean, who says you can't do that?
Right.
I mean, if everyone else is out there with the mob mentality, rioting, looting, doing all this, destroying private property, I mean, putting people out of business for potentially forever.
Right.
I mean, they have ruined their businesses to where some people will never come back.
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
Can you imagine working 30 or 40 years at something to leave to your kids, your grandkids, and to be able to retire one day, and some thug just comes out and wipes it out in, like a few hours?
Right.
I mean, this is America. That's insane. And kudos to Kyle Rittenhouse for standing up for his rights, constitutional rights as an American. I mean, and taking out, ironically enough, he took out a pedophile, a woman beater, and a convicted felon who was brandishing a firearm pointed at his face. So, you shoot first.
Sounds like divine intervention to me.
Exactly.
I mean, it sounds to me like that the good Lord was pointing his gun and wiping off the shit off the face of the earth. That's what it sounds like to me.
Literally, the autopsy stated that the pedophile guy was actually shot in the groin. He was shot in multiple places, or it had ricocheted into multiple places, but it did affect the groin. The woman beater, it went into his heart, into the aorta. It's like divine intervention, yes.
Absolutely.
Every picture that you see of this kid, he looks so innocent, and he really was protecting himself. The AR wasn't the only thing strapped to his chest. He also had a medic bag. So, and he was performing medical help on people who had been hurt and wounded prior to this.
Right.
And earlier that day, he was cleaning up graffiti off of the local high school.
I mean, the kid was doing his part in America.
Yeah.
And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, he is as American as it fucking gets.
If
he's as American as Trump.
Stand up, yes, if Americans don't stand up for this kid right now, watch closely, America, because this will be the case that the left will use to try to disarm us, to get rid of our Second Amendment. This will be it.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be it. You know what's crazy? Something else it's been going on all week with the RNC is every time that the guests leave the RNC, they get harassed by these protesters, Antifa, BLM, bullshit like that. You didn't see that fucking shit with the DNC.
No.
Because we're not low-life trash that's going to go out here and do retarded shit like that. I'll tell you what got me real pissed off this week, too. There's a lot of posts on Parler from BST's Parler account and even on Facebook. And what really got me going this week is this video of these white people in the restaurant trying to make the restaurant patrons scream out black power.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to leave till they scream out black power. Let me tell you something. For all these white millennial snot-nosed little diaper-wearing piece of shits out there running the fucking streets, you make yourself look like a fucking idiot. Mm-hmm. A white person pumping their fist, screaming black power. Now, I'll tell you, if this was in the late 60s, 70s, when the Black Panthers are around, they would have went around the room smacking the fuck out of white people.
Oh, yeah, they wouldn't have stood
when real black people were real black people were trying to make a difference, they would have told these fucking white people to go the fuck home. Right. They didn't need their fucking help.
It's like a hat trick with these motherfuckers, because what it is it's a bunch of white people out here screaming Black Lives Matter, and the whole while, the black thugs, the black pieces of shit, are out looting and stealing and robbing, destroying shit.
Absolutely.
So it's like, well, you know, they really don't care because they're not the people who truly decide what's best for this country. They're the people who have no couth about them. They're unruly and they're spoiled brats. And society, sadly, has concocted these people. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
If you think about it, yeah. And I mean,
and the sad part is on this is the sad part is the good, decent, hardworking American black citizens that do their part and are American citizens. These black individuals. They're looking at the TV every morning and they're shaking their damn heads too, and they're going, "What the hell is wrong with these black kids?"
Right. They don't need white kids speaking for them.
No, they don't. Yeah, black people
how disgraceful is that?
I mean, real black people are a strong ethnic group by themselves.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't need anybody's damn help.
I've always said, and I believe it with every fiber of my being, that the only way that this country can turn around and unify as one is if the black community says, we're not taking the left's bullshit anymore. And you know, the phenomenon in the whole thing, in my opinion, is that the black race is the only race that has the capability of turning around within a 24-hour period. And I'm not exaggerating. I believe this. They can turn it around overnight and say, we're leaving the left, we're going to join our brothers on the right, and we're going to stand up for what this country is founded on. And they could do that within a day because they have that power. They're a unified group of people and they love one another deeply. They can do that. When will they get on board? When will they realize that the Democrats are racist? They do not care about the black people. They do not care about the black people in this country at all. They want them weeded out. They look at them as a plague, and they really do. I mean, I can understand how a black person may feel like, well, you know, they promised us this and they promised us that. Yeah, that's just it. They promise you things that they never do. It's only around election time, and then they'll go away, and they expect you to go back to where you have to suffer through and live, because they don't care. Donald Trump has done more for the black community than any other president in this country.
That's right.
Ever.
That's right. Absolutely.
Ever.
Yeah. A lot of times it just stumps me. Just you see the stuff every single morning we wake up. I lost count this morning of how many police officers that had been shot last night. 8, 10, something. I don't know. It was all over the place. They're shooting these cops, and it's like, you know, these white millennials and shit, and these young black kids, they don't want an America without cops.
Right. They don't know what the hell they're talking about.
I mean, you know, when you cross the wrong people, and a lot of America has a lot of guns, and especially, you know, in certain parts of America, they love their guns. Well, we love our guns.
Yeah,
and
Rittenhouse
they're going to start spraying bullets, and the streets are going to run red. And that's another thing I got to say on this is, before the Democrats will ever take our guns away, these streets will run red with almost everybody in the United States' blood, because it's not going to happen, because we have too many rights here in the United States. It's not going to happen.
Right. People will stand up for that. That'll be the one thing that breaks this country.
Right.
Is if you try to confiscate people's guns.
Right. I mean, yeah, because, you know, even if they started doing it, it's not like they'd come by your house with a paycheck and go, hey, you know, here's your money for your gun.
They have the buyback thing.
Well,
the
yeah,
buyback
they do, but I doubt it would
But
ever happen with a Democrat.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, somebody show up to your house, the check's nothing but a target.
You're going to give me my tax money back.
Right.
You know what I mean?